So today we will be starting with our new chapter in the same module, that is design of beams, and we will be starting with our new chapter, that is development length and shear reinforcement. This chapter will be the last chapter of the module. We have undergone till now 3 chapters that were specifically regarding beams, that were singly RC beam, doubly RC beam and T beams. Now we will be moving forward and we will be seeing the last chapter of the module, that is a development length and shear reinforcement. So today we will be discussing development length, and in the future lectures we will be discussing the second portion, that is shear reinforcement. So first of all, we will be looking at what is a development length, or what do you mean by development length. So the development length basically is the bar that has been bent to provide a bond strength between a column and a beam structure. Okay, so by definition it says that to transfer the design force from steel to concrete or vice versa from concrete to steel, the reinforcement is anchored or hold upon in concrete up to a certain length, so that it can develop the bond strength between concrete and steel, or you can say it can transfer strength from beam to column, and it is termed as development length LD. We will be seeing some new equations in this portion, so keep your IS code with you, and graphically we can represent, or we can see the development length with these two cases. This is the first case, that is a combination of beam column joint. This is our beam portion, this is our column portion. The red marking or the red line here represents the main steel, that is bottom portion, that is this portion represents the area of steel in tension, that is AST, and this portion represents the area of steel in compression, that is ASC. Clear? So here we can see that there are vertical lines provided, and the vertical lines are provided in green shapes, that are stirrups, or you can say shear reinforcement, which will be covering in the later portion. So now we will be looking towards the portion that is our development length. So you can see here that here the bars are curtailed, and curtailed means to cut. So the proper bonding is not provided here between our beam member and a column member. So to provide a proper bending, it is always preferable to bend the bars of beam. Clear? And again there is a particular terminology while bending the bars. You can see in the left side figure, that is here, this is the wrong methodology to adopt our LD, and this is the correct methodology to adopt our LD, that is development length. So what is the difference, or what is the main difference? It is that the bars, whether the bars in tension or bars in compression, must be bent up to a certain length in the column portion, and this length up to which the bar is to be bent is called development length. So in this topic we will be calculating this particular length for which this to be bent up. Clear? So the main thing you need to focus here is that if we are talking about this top portion or top steel, that is our compression steel, then we need to always bend it in opposite direction. Means the top portion will be bent in the downward direction, and the bottom steel will be bent up in the top direction. Why so? This is basically done to provide a strong bond between the structures, that is our beam structure and column structure. Why so? Because if we bend it like this way, this means this, the tension bars if we bend it downwards, and compression bar if we bend it upwards, then there will be a gap provided in the center portion or the middle portion. So the proper bond strength will not develop in this particular region. So to cover the whole cross section, we are providing, or we are bending the bars in the opposite direction. That means the compression bars will be bent in the downward direction, and the tension bars will be bent in the upward direction. So this length up to which the bar is to bend is termed as LD, or you can say development length. So in this topic we will be discussing how to find this development length and what are the equations pertaining to it. Yeah? So we'll start with our numerical. So we'll be focusing on our first sum, that is in a limit state design, determine the development length for a 20 mm dia Fe415 grade steel bar in compression, and we need to use M20 concrete. This is our question that is being asked. Keep in mind that the sums pertaining to finding LD, that is development length, are very short, and this sum is particular just a one step question, and the same one step question is asked in GTO in 3 marker question also and 7 marker question also. So do not kept left out or keep out this in your syllabus portion. You need to solve it, as it is very simple and basic understanding here. So for finding the equation for this, pause this video and move on to page number 42 of your IS code. Okay, so from page number 42, in the right hand bottom portion, you can see this clause, that is clause 26.2.1. Clause 26.2.1, and it states that development length of bars. So for finding the development length in RCC, we always will be referring to this equation, that is LD equal to phi sigma s upon 4 tau BD. This is the equation that we'll be referring in this entire topic, that is LD equal to phi sigma s upon 4 tau BD. Now we'll be looking forward to each and every term in detail. Phi, that is our diameter of steel bar. Okay, and in this case, or in this numerical, the diameter is prescribed as 20 mm. So we'll be taking phi equal to 20 mm. And sigma s. Sigma s, as you can see here, it is the stress in bar at section considered at design load. Means it is the stress in bar, and bar, as we all know, is made up of steel. So it is a stress in steel, and we all know that stress or maximum stress in steel is always equal to 0.87 Fy. Maximum stress in a steel bar is always equal to 0.87 Fy. We know this from our first chapter onwards. Clear? So we'll be considering this equation, and in the denominator portion, you can see here that it is mentioned 4 tau BD. Now 4, as it is a constant, we will be focusing on tau BD. Tau, again, it is a shear stress. Tau is shear stress, but in this case it is bond stress. Clear? So here you can see that tau is equal to bond stress, or tau BD equal to bond stress. Now how to find tau BD, we will be looking forward, or we will be looking in this numerical. So first we will be calculating sigma s. So LD equation, as we have seen, equal to phi sigma s upon 4 tau BD. Sigma s will be equal to 0.87 Fy, and solving it, you get answer 361.05 Newton per mm square. Now we will be finding now we will be solving how to find our tau BD, that is bond stress, and for that you will need to look upon this table that is in page number 43. So pause this video and move on to the next page, that is page 43 of your IS code. There in the top portion, you can see this table formed under the clause 26.2.1.1. This table is very important every time when we'll be calculating our bond stress, or we'll be solving the sum pertaining to development length. So focusing in deep, we can see that here 2 rows are mentioned. The first row is of grade of concrete, and second is design bond stress, that is tau BD. So we'll be getting, or we'll be relating our tau BD with respect to the grade of concrete that is been asked in the question. Here in the question, the concrete grade is given as M20. So for M20, our tau BD will be 1.2. Clear? For M20 concrete, our tau BD will be 1.2. But the answer is not complete here. Most of the students just look upon this table and see the value that comes out to be 1.2 and directly replace tau BD by 1.2, and the answer becomes wrong. So what is remaining, or what to look upon, is given in this statement under the table. So below this table you can see this statement. It is very important, so we'll be going through in this brief. It says that for deformed bars, and deformed bars, that means HYSD, Keep this in mind. Deformed bars that are HYSD, or you can say high yield strength deformed. As we have seen in the first chapter that we will be considering three types of bar. First one will be Fe250 steel, second will be Fe415 steel, and the third will be Fe500 steel. So this Fe250 steel is known as mild steel or MS steel, and this both, that is Fe415 and Fe500, are known as HYSD steel or high yield strength deformed bars. Clear? So you can see here that it is mentioned for deformed bars conforming to IS 1786, that is the IS code referred to the steel sections or particular HYSD steel, which we won't be referring in our syllabus. This value shall be increased by 60%. We need to focus on this last statement. That means whenever HYSD bars are given in question, we need to increase this value, that is 1.2, by 60%. Clear? This is the first thing we need to refer. And second thing that we need to know also is in the below statement here, that for the bars in compression, that means for the bars in compression zone, keep in mind, it is not been prescribed as the bars in compression. That doesn't mean that bars of column. We are talking about the bars of beams only. But in beam also there are two zones, that is a compression zone and tension zone. So the bars in tension will be AST and bars in compression will be ASC. So this is referred to ASC, that are the bars in compression. The value of bond stress for bars in tension shall be increased by 25%. Means whenever we are getting two values, that is ASC and AST, then the bond stress, that is 1.2, will also be increased by 25%. Yeah? So we will be seeing this in brief, as it is mentioned that we are given Fe415 steel also, and the steel bars are also in compression. Clear? So while solving tau BD, we will be getting this. That is 1.2 was our basic term, that for M20 concrete we will always be using the term to be 1.2, but as HYSD steel is given, we will be increasing the quantity by 60%, and increasing by 60% means to multiply it by 1.6. Clear? And as the bars are given in compression, we will again increase it by 25%. That means again to multiply it by 1.25. So this is the 60% hike, and this is the 25% hike that we were seeing in the previous class. Clear? Now again, whenever in G2 examination you need to solve this, keep in mind you need to increase by 25% only if it is asked in question. If it is asked in question that the bars are in compression, then and then only you will be increasing the value by 25%. Else you only will be checking whether mild steel is provided or HYSD steel are provided. If mild steel was provided, this was our answer, that is 1.2, and if compression was not been asked. Clear? Here our final answer will be 1.2 into 1.6 into 1.25, that comes out to be 2.4 Newton per mm square. So substituting everything in this value, we get LD equal to 752.18 mm. This is our final answer. So it is just a one equation thing, but you keep in mind that the tau BD value, it depends upon two factors: when to increase it by 60% and when to increase it by 25%. If you know these two basic relations, then you will definitely be getting the correct answer every time. This was our first sum. We will be looking in the next lecture. Okay, thank you.